Yeah, is anyone reading a book? Who's reading a book? I'm getting into books this week.
Can I put my link in the chat for my YouTube that I
Oh,
did this morning?
yeah, 100%. Whatever you, yeah. All right, Cathy's reading a book. Cathy, that's a great book. Can you tell us what's one of the things you like about that book?
Honestly, if you do not have Misty's book yet, How to Go from No Sales to Sales in 5 Easy Steps, very seriously, my friends, you can read this a million times, and every time you do, you pick up something different. So please consider that if you haven't already. And of course, at the ready at all times is the first one, Overcoming Obscurity. And the reason I love these books so much, like I say, is you can totally hear Misty talking to you. And it's very, very cool that you write in your own voice. And I seriously love that. So, and Misty, I was thinking about this when you talked about it earlier today at the other call. If you said you're out in a coffee shop waiting for the kids or whatever you do, and you're reading your own book, 99% of the time people are going to go, what is that book? Well, actually, I wrote it. You wrote a book? And it really does turn out to go like that. So all of a sudden you'd have your own books with you, and people would be so impressed, obviously, that you're reading a book. What book is that? And it's actually, have you ever heard of Overcoming Obscurity by Misty Henkel? That's me. And so I think it would be a very cool thing if you carried your own books around.
That's cool. I do, on and off, and I will do that all the time now. And I like to go out to lunch and do things and sit and literally just read. And I have to say,
Misty, you have to tell people as well is that you have a case of your books in your trunk. You're trying to sell it at the same time.
I'm always carrying a spare one. But I have to say, I do like reading my books. Like, I go back and read them. They were hard to write because I'm not a writer. But when I go back and read them, I go, wow, this is really cool. So everybody calls me and says, it's like you're sitting on my shoulder. Like, I know it's exactly you. And I sit there going, actually, this was easily put. This makes sense. I think, and I wrote that. That's odd. So yes, it's kind of nice. I like it. I like to go back and read my own stuff. But even though I know it, it's still a reminder. I still happen to read it differently to how I wrote it. So it's you always pick up on something. And I was saying that in some posts during the week about being a little bit idle. I had this moment of spare time between when the boys were getting up, getting ready for school, and me getting to the next meeting. Yeah, Cathy's books. I know. Well, I do. I actually carry yours around. And yeah, and I had this spare bit of time where I thought, oh, I'll just pick up my phone and play a couple of math puzzles. And I thought, no, this is the time. You know, you never know if the answers to today's problems might just happen to show up in the book that you read because you've got a few spare minutes. You know, have a bit of a read. And oddly, on that day, it did. I was reading Arnie's book, Be Useful, and the subchapter I was reading was exactly what needed to show up for the rest of the day. So yeah, carry a book. It probably has all the answers you need. Excellent. Thanks so much, Cathy.